Here's every creature that can change its sex. Clownfish live in small groups with one dominant female, one breeding male, and several smaller males. Here's the twist. All clownfish are born male. If the dominant female dies, the breeding male transforms into a female. How it works. Clownfish have both male and female reproductive organs from birth, but only one is active. Hormonal changes trigger the switch, and within weeks, the male fully becomes a fertile female. Why it evolved this way? In their small, tiny anemone homes, finding a mate is difficult. This system guarantees that whoever survives can still reproduce without needing to find a new partner. Cleaner wrasse fish live in groups with one dominant male and multiple females. If the male dies or is removed, the largest female changes sex within days. How it works. Within hours, her behavior changes. She becomes aggressive and starts acting like a male. Within 2 weeks, her body physically transforms, producing sperm instead of eggs. Why it evolved this way? Group survival depends on having exactly one male. If he disappears, someone must take over immediately to keep the group reproducing. Seahorses don't change biological sex, but they flip traditional pregnancy roles completely. Males carry the pregnancy. Females deposit eggs into a pouch on the male's body. The male fertilizes them internally and carries them until birth. Why this counts? While not a sex change, it's one of nature's strangest reproductive systems, proving that male and female roles aren't fixed the way we assume. The process? Male seahorses can carry up to 2,000 babies at once and give birth through muscle contractions, almost identical to mammalian labor. Banana slugs are hermaphrodites. They have both male and female organs simultaneously. How it works? When two banana slugs mate, both can fertilize each other at the same time. Either slug can become pregnant. The strange part? Sometimes after mating, one slug bites off the other's penis. This is called apophylation. The slug that loses its penis simply becomes exclusively female for future matings. Why this happens? Scientists believe it prevents the penis from getting stuck inside the mating partner, since banana slug penises are unusually long and can get tangled. Bearded dragons. Bearded dragons are born with genetic sex, determined by chromosomes, like humans. But here's the twist. If the egg's temperature gets too hot during incubation, genetic males can develop into females anyway. How it works? High temperatures override genetic instructions. A genetically male embryo physically develops female organs and becomes a fully fertile female, despite having male chromosomes. Why this matters? As global temperatures rise, more bearded dragon eggs are naturally overheating in the wild, causing more sex reversals than normal. Scientists are studying how this affects wild populations long term. Oysters. Oysters change sex multiple times throughout their life, sometimes yearly. How it works? Oysters typically start life as males. As they grow larger and older, they switch to female. Some species switch back and forth repeatedly based on environmental conditions, like water temperature and food availability. Why it evolved this way? Producing eggs requires more energy than producing sperm. Young, smaller oysters conserve energy by being male. Once they're bigger and have more energy reserves, becoming female lets them maximize reproduction. For these creatures, sex isn't fixed. It's a tool for survival and reproduction. Environmental pressure, group dynamics, or simple biology decides who becomes what and when. If you want every creature that can reproduce without a partner explained, let me know. Subscribe.